All right, well, welcome everybody. We are doing this call as a recap for those, there was I think 23 of us that went to Clarity in Sacramento this past weekend. And I know every single person was in their chair like dying because of their team members and whatnot that were not sitting next to them, because it was how incredibly, like, this is my third event I've been to with girls now, and they've all been like mind-blowing amazing, but I wasn't even expecting it to be amazing on the level it was. Like, it totally set the bar, and it's because of who we had putting it on Ramasio. And going forward,
1930s.
That will happen. If you want to mute yourself out.
How things don't change.
I'm muting off, and we'll unmute as people chat. But going forward, these events will be done. I think the President Millionaires are going to combine together, because the one last month was done by Jeremy Roma, the Disrupt event. This one was Ramasio Fulcher, and I think they will be combining together. But since this was just Ramasio's event, he really got to put his personal spin on it, and we all definitely got to know Ramasio on a very, very deep level, which I'm sure some will share. So I want to really turn this over to the people, everybody else that was there. They're just going to kind of take turns sharing a few nuggets, what the event meant to them, and then I'm going to kind of close it up going through some of the X's and O's, because a lot of it it's not necessarily the X's and O's. It's kind of the mindset and stuff behind it. But I will close this up with some of those things. So, whoever, Katie, do you want to go first? I know it looks like you're in a hockey rink, but that work? Are you able? Are you wanting to go first?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Okay, 2 minutes. There's no way I can sum up to you all how much my life has changed in 2 minutes. By that, I mean everyone thinks, oh, well, she's a diamond. She's got this. She knows what she's doing. And I truly went into this. I met on Wednesday night when we flew in, you guys. Seville and Rachel took all the diamonds into their hotel room, and I truly could not grasp how much bigger this thing truly is than just a small town Minnesota girl. There was diamonds, I'm talking Italy, Germany, Austria, Canada, US, Australia, and I truly looked at it for the first time ever, that how truly global this thing is. And what I learned over the next 3 days is your limits in this are only limited to what your mind is telling you it is. I sat there on Wednesday night and I could not answer where in 1 year I truly thought I was going to be, because I couldn't wrap my mind around how am I going to do this and how do I get there. I've never done network marketing before, and how am I going to lead a team into the next year of my life. I walked out of there with I have no doubt not only how to do it, where to begin, how to lead a team, and now how to help all of you get to where you want to be. And it was the biggest clarity. It was the biggest, most unbelievable thing. A ton of tears watching these people just grow and develop and take in personal development with themselves. And then he poured everything into us. And I wish you all could have been there. I think the biggest thing, like I said, do not limit your dreams by what your mind cannot wrap its head around, because I couldn't understand how truly global we were until I sat in that room and was like, there's people like us all over the world that can make really good money doing this and building their teams and just being really good people. And good people deserve to win. The more people that win at this, the better our world is going to be, because we will then give back to people who deserve it the most. And Ramasio is a true definition of that. He wants to give to all of us. And as well as all the leadership there. They really just wanted to get to know all of us on a personal level. And I think all 500 people in that room felt that and took that in. I know I'm going way over my 2 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. It was unbelievable. I truly can say for me, I took my mindset out of being a police officer for 10 years thinking, I got this, I know what I'm doing, to stepping into a whole new world and thinking, how am I ever in my wildest dreams going to start something new, to I have no doubt in my mind that we are going to be way beyond our wildest dreams and what we're going to do here, you guys. I have no doubt. And I'm taking you all with me, just so you know. I'm taking you all with me. You don't have a choice. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you, Katie. And I'm going to back up a moment also. So Katie lives in Lakeville, Minnesota. So we're going to say where we live, who we are, and where we live. So I know I've met many of you on this call, but I see some faces that are new. I know we're growing many people by the day. So my name is Leah Melquist. I do this with Sam, my husband. He's up bathing the kiddos right now, so he'll join us in a little bit. But we live in northwestern Minnesota in East Grand Forks. So awesome. Thank you, Katie. All right. Sherry, do you want to go next?
Okay, you can hear me. Just a second. You gotta go in. We got two phones going. Sorry. Going to another room.
I just left the meeting.
Okay, Kurt just left the meeting. He's got to take a call. Okay,
Go ahead. Sherry.
the best way I can explain this event, and it finally dawned on me, and I shared this with Lorraine and I think Rusty and Rachel, is next to my wedding and the birth of my two children, this is like right there. It was the most amazing thing I have ever done for myself. I grew as a person. I'm no longer the person that I came in. The personal growth was the most amazing thing. I've met lifelong friends that I feel closer to in that short time span than I have with other individuals. And the business side, I knew when this business was presented to us, we had the golden ticket, but my wasn't there like it is there now. And literally we were handed step by step by step how to do it and how simple it is. And if there's one thing to remember on the business side, do not get hung up on this thing because there might be some tech issues. We have tech people working on it. It's above our pay grade, as Ramasio told us. It's for them to worry about. And I have no doubt I set that goal on Saturday. Something clicked in me, and it clarity is power. It couldn't have been named a better name. And I texted my husband and I said, my goal is to retire him from his job by the end of this year, and me too. And it's so possible. So possible. This business, don't overthink it. It's all of us in our head, I think, that is overthinking. Let the vision and the value sell that. It's amazing, you guys. You guys have to get on your calendars already to come to the International Convention on October 19th. I'm not kidding. You have to be there. You will leave a different person. It's incredible. I could talk for hours and days. We all know that from all of us that were there. So I will refrain and be done. But I'm from Grand Forks, North Dakota. Leah, I can't hear you.
I muted myself. Any nugget that you take away? I mean, I know it was life impacting, obviously, but anything that really
I will tell you this, and it goes personal and professional, no matter how it fits with you. I bawled like a little baby through most of it, but your past is perfect. Your past is perfect. No matter what's in your past, it's perfect because it led you where you're at today. That's what I will go with. And I'll just stop there.
Thank you, honey. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
But I'm not one of many words. This is Regina.
There you are. Okay.
Yeah. For me, and I'll be very brief. I think what stuck with me the most was the personal growth. I've been in network marketing for a little bit now. And like I was telling you and probably Tanya, my biggest thing, even in dentistry in my life, is there's somewhere deep inside of me that I don't believe that I deserve wealth, like true wealth. And I couldn't figure out how to get past that. And even another mentor, she told me it's your belief system, but that's kind of where it stopped. I'm very, I have a relationship, with Christ, but I guess there was still that part of me who still hadn't kind of gotten it yet. And for him to start out, the first half of the first day on really relationship and getting that right and understanding that relationship, and how he talked about how you need to know who you are, but you can't know who you are until you know your Father. That was very impactful for me. And I think just kind of putting that in there a little bit throughout, I finally broke through that part of me that didn't believe that I deserved any of this. I see everyone getting it, but for me, I just couldn't figure it out. My whole life has been, what am I doing? I'm just as good as everyone else, but for some reason, something always happens and takes it from me, but to break through that this weekend and know that I deserve, I would have paid 10 times more just to have that, and then to see, when he had Naomi up there, I had just had lunch with Naomi. I would have never, ever have thought that she had any type of disbelief in herself. Never. So when she went up on that stage, when she raised her hand, Christy and I both looked at each other like, what? It was incredible. And to see the lineage, I call it lineage, from I can't say their name, but Parada Putras down, and just to see from there to Nat and Tanita to, Romacio to Seville to Tanya, and to see, wait a minute, they're doing excellent. They are like knocking this thing out. Wait, I'm not that far from that. I can do this too. By October, that could be me. I mean, it all clicked. And I think you just had to be there to get that. You just had to be there. And that's what I got from it.
Awesome.
That it is possible.
Thank you. And so the story the situation that happened that she was talking about, we actually got it recorded. I have it in 2 parts. Katie has it in 1 video. So she's going to convert it to YouTube links we can share with you guys. Because the whole event, they were like, no cameras, no Facebook Lives. They really wanted to honor the people that got there. But there was a few moments where people kind of did it anyway. And they weren't really teaching anything at that point. It just happened to be a situation that happened that we caught on film that was amazing. And it really ultimately illustrated how close we are to the best of the best, and that we all have the ability to follow suit, taking this, being coachable, and taking it and going.
Can I go next?
Yes, Julie, go ahead.
Okay, so I want to piggyback on Regina. I'm Julie Blinn. I'm from Leesburg, Virginia. So, couple things. The deserve thing, definitely. So Jeremy Roma got up and he really talked about, like, you don't think about it, but subconsciously you feel like you don't deserve it. And he said, what if you went to your kids and they were like, Mommy, Daddy, I want to do this or that. And you were like, I'm sorry, you don't deserve that. Like, how awful would that be? And if you believe, I personally believe in God and I believe he's my Father. Do I believe that is what he says to me? No, I don't. So it's the belief system of or would you say that to your kids? You don't deserve that. So why do we walk around as if we don't deserve what others are obtaining? So that belief system. And then what they were talking about with the girl, what was her name again? You said?
Naomi.
Naomi, who, basically she came up and she was saying she never believed she was trying and never has failed at anything and all this stuff. And he brought the mom had scrounged up money for her to get there, and they were very emotional, and they brought the mom up and they were crying. And I saw Romacio in the corner of my eye kind of go to the corner of the stage, and he was back there with his head down, and it looked like he was weeping and almost like he was praying. And for me, that was a moment because I have trust issues. Okay. There have been times in my life where the people who are the leaders are leading people very wrong. And so I am not quick to trust anyone. I feel like I have to be there and I have to watch, and I'm not going to fully give my heart and belief or like self under that, but like seeing his authenticity and hearing him, because he was extremely transparent all throughout, and seeing him just like, there were several moments where you could tell he wanted this for everyone else more than us. And that was what he was after. I mean, sincere, when you see a man up there with like tear running down his face, like it was just all heart. And he wasn't trying to be like, look at me. He was actually trying to very like much conceal it, but you could kind of still see what was going on inside of him. And that really struck me, you know, like that really hit a chord with myself about, you know, just being comfortable under that leadership and feeling like it's the right motivations and it's the right person. Obviously he's extremely competent. Like everybody was saying, like, I probably would have paid thousands and thousands of dollars for what we got there in that room. Like everything was such a good nugget. And they talked about vision not being just a noun, like it's something that's in you that gets birthed somewhere throughout your life, like somewhere you know that there's just something you're meant to do, whatever that is. And I definitely have felt that like in my gut, but I think you don't believe and it dies. But it's kind of like revitalizing that, like it's meant to come out at some point. It doesn't mean it's going to be birthed when someone else is, but you might be in the 3rd trimester, right? And everything that you're going through is, whether it's good or bad, is shaping you actually for that. And I know I'm talking a little long, but I just want to say one thing. He shared his story that his father and parents used to like really whoop him. And one specific thing was saying if he flipped, you know, there was an order, he had to do things in his car, flip the visor down, turn the key right. And if he messed up, it would be like wham, like his father would. I mean, clearly what he was sharing, I think most of us probably felt like that really is on the line of abusive. But what he said, he wasn't bitter or angry. You know what he said? He said that very thing about following instructions is why I'm here. He said, if you master one thing, you have everything. And because they were so strict on him on following exact instructions, that is what has led to his success, because he's been in a business where a man said, do you know why these people aren't going anywhere? Because they can't follow instructions. And he said, no, I've got that mastered. So God had shaped his life to where that was it. And I failed college. I always got in trouble. If anybody was the least likely to make it, it's me. But you know what? I learned to follow instructions. So I got in front of a mentor and said, tell me exactly what to do. And that's what he did. He just followed it. Exactly. And so it just strikes with all of us. We all have things where like, oh, I didn't complete this, or I didn't complete that, or I failed. I'm always a mess up. Like, no, and that's where Sherry was saying, your past is perfect. Like, look at the things that's happening, that it's shaping you through it. So you can be bitter or you can be better. And that led him to where he is. So it's very eye-opening.
Thank you, honey. Great shares. All right.
I'll share something real quick, Leah.
Okay.
It's Sienna from Grand Forks, North Dakota. And I think the big exciting thing for me was what happened on Friday night, y'all, is what he asked. He went around the audience, and there's this song, I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but Justin Timberlake, I think it's like, Get Your Groove On or Find Your Groove or something like that. He played this song over and over and over and over and over again throughout the whole weekend, right? And what happened on Friday night is he went throughout the audience and he could just sense people just that were really needing to get up on stage and just kind of let it all out, right? And so he went through the audience, picked 20 people, and he asked them, are you ready to make a change in your business? Are you ready for this? Are you sure? Are you sure? So he brings these people up on stage. And throughout the dancing moves, so what happened is all these people on stage had to dance, whether it was 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 3 minutes of this song. And none of our audience, I apologize, my kids in the background if they're screaming. Can you all hear me okay, Leah?
Yeah, I can hear the kids too, but we can hear you, yeah.
Well, don't mind my background here, but and anyway, so what happened is, can you guys still hear better?
Yeah.
Okay. So what he did is he had these people come up on stage, and so they had to dance, and they had to dance from their heart, even if they couldn't dance at all. And what the audience had to do, we had to be quiet and not say anything. And then we had to vote, and we had to stick our hand in the air if we would have wanted them to be on our team to get us to Diamond, right? Well, many people had different, you know, some people just aren't gifted with dance moves, you know, it's totally okay. Can you hear me, Leah? Or is it like really loud?
We can hear you. There's just background noise, but we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so some people, like this one gal got up, right? And she danced. We couldn't say anything. And then all of a sudden he would cut the music, and we'd all have to vote if we wanted her on our team or not. Well, sometimes what happened is you could tell that they just weren't dancing from their heart. And I think the bottom of my story is then he would stop the music, and then the whole audience went vote, right? It sounds pretty crucial, doesn't it? Like nobody voted. How disheartening for that person up on stage, right? But the simple fact is that it's not that we didn't want to vote for them. It was that we could tell that they weren't dancing from their heart. So then Ramasi would say, play the music, and then they'd have to dance again. Well, there was many different scenarios that took place. One of them was a gal after the 6th time, guys, that the music stopped and started and stopped and started, and she just couldn't get it. Like you could see she was still very just kind of like somber, just not really she had a little bit of a groove, but wasn't letting it all out. And all of a sudden her husband come up on stage and just started to rock it out with her. So it was so cool to see that, because it's a simple fact is sometimes we get stuck and we can't do it alone, and we need our team to help pick us up and run and get our groove back, right? And so some of them came right out right away and they just rocked it and we all cheered and whatever. But some of them, it took a little different. One of them, Ramasio, just encouraged them, like, feel from your heart. Like, your dance move was just like the second person that just did it. Like, you can't follow their dance move. You got to make up your own dance move. And so I think that was just powerful. And the bottom line is that everybody's going to have their own dance. It's just, where is your groove and where is your dance move and what are you going to do? And if you need people up on stage with you to help you find your groove, you just have to ask, and you just have to, be willing to allow somebody to help you, I think is the bottom line of it. So powerful. But yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, honey. So that is Robin Mullins on here. Robin, are you on here, Robin?
Yes, I am.
Yay! Speaking of the dance. You're next.
I haven't been home very long, but yeah, speaking of the dance, I was the very first one chosen to go up on that stage. And let me tell you guys, I am an extrovert, and I have never been so out of my comfort zone in my life. And I stood there he didn't pick me to go first. He picked me to go up on the stage first. So picture this. I was up on that stage for probably close to 2 hours under the hot lights, burning up, and so nervous for a long, long time. So, people just kept going and going and going. And I was just nervous. And I was realizing that in my mind, I was thinking of all these excuses, and I can't do this. I can't do this. I can do this. And just the part about being there that was so amazing is that at one point, I don't even know what had happened, but it just clicked in my head that I was here for All Out. I was here to go all out, and I was going to make it happen. And I did it once, and it was a no from the crowd, and I did it twice, and it was a no from the crowd. And then I was like, just kind of leave it to me, making a joke. And, oh, you got an oxygen mask right now? Come on. And he's like, oh, you went out? You went out? I said, no, I'm still in. So he offers me this glass of water, and I said, I don't want that. And he goes, why not? I said, because I got to pee. And he starts laughing hysterically, and he's like, you do. I said, yeah, that's why I'm having a little bit of problem here. And he was laughing still. And then he's like, that was pretty authentic, letting 500 people in this room know after 2 dances. And it just clicked. Like, you've got to be yourself. You've be yourself. Sometimes you do have to do it on your own, but you've got to go all in. And he got right here in my face, 2 inches away, and he said, "Are you sure you're doing this? Are you for real? Are you really gonna?" And he just kept saying those words to me right here in my face. And let me tell you, you don't tell that man no. He's gonna wait until you say yes and agree and do what he says. And so I said, "I'm all in." And he said, "Okay, then I want you to go back to your room and I want you to write about this experience." And I went back and I wrote a whole bunch of things, and I'm sure, I'll go back and read it again, but there were lessons in it of just how you don't have to worry about it, because we make it harder than it is. And I had written down, focus on the simplicity. And I said, if you wonder why people aren't following you, ask if you know where you're going. And it was just, that's another nugget. It's like I finally made a clear decision of where I was going and what I wanted, and that I deserve it for the first time in my life. I feel like I deserve it. So that was probably longer than 2 minutes too, but let me tell you, it was a life-changing experience for me. That's it. I'm out. I can't hear you.
I keep muting myself because I have crying kids. I said, I just feel like I'm reliving it all over again, hearing you guys. Thank you, Robin, for sharing that. All right, who wants to go next?
I can go.
Hey, go.
So it is like you just said, it is crazy. Like I feel like we're reliving this all over again, like hearing everyone's stories, talking about the music going on stage. Like I feel like I'm there. And that's why I think it's so important that everyone is listening to this tonight, so they can feel our energy and what we took out of it, and also to see the importance of events, you guys. Sherry said it, and I know that everyone has said it on here 100 times. Leah has said it. Katie has said it. We are like events. If we can just get that into your head, you will never want to miss an event again. Okay? The things that you get out of it, I think the most important thing that I took out of it, okay, well, I feel like there was 1,000 most important things, and it's really hard to say. But the thing is that so many people get stuck on the helo and the product itself and the issues that they're having. And that is the least of our concerns, you guys. The least of our concerns. When the big top dogs were getting asked questions about the helo and the problems and the issues, their answer was, that's not in my pay grade. I don't care. It's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the vision. I'm here for the company. I'm here to grow it for my family and myself, and to make this bigger and better than you could ever imagine. And I'm not getting hung up on the shipping issues and the connectivity issues and my steps don't seem accurate and my sleep doesn't seem accurate, because you know what? We're always going to have an issue of some sort. We just need to know how to get past it, not worry about it. Let our technology department, let our communications department, let our board of directors figure out those issues and not worry about that. Our job is to share the vision of this company as it moves forward and how it can help other people. That's ultimately what it comes down to. I have pages and pages and pages and pages of little golden nuggets that I wish I could just share all of them with you. I wish it could be recorded. I wish you could have just seen the excitement and heard the excitement of everyone's that was there. But those are the things that I'm really going to say focus on. Focus on the vision. Focus on building your business, because in the next couple months, once all of this other stuff comes out with the blood glucose, blood alcohol, the mosquito shield, the temperature, you guys, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning of what's going to happen with this product, with the new HICA allowing us to push this into the app, and the company now going towards this being a medical device and in the medical field. That's another thing that's going to be going for us. But if you don't get going and build your team now, it's going to be too late by the time you wait until those things happen, because there's going to be so many other people that have built their teams that are ready to run once these things are out. So even though I'm not really telling you a lot of the stuff we learned on there, I'm just trying to stress the importance of you guys understanding not to focus on the little details of the issues with the helo. because those issues are going to go away. They will. I promise you, this company is not going to fail. They won't let it fail. There's too many people that are complete technology geniuses in our company, on our board of directors, and there's too many people that are too high up in this company that have earned too much money, have invested too much stuff to have this fail. It's not going to fail, but you have to understand not to get focused on those little things, not to dwell on it. When a customer has an issue with it, you just need to know that you are focused on the vision, you're focused on the company, and that's it. Everything else will fall into place. So those are the things that I think, even though I could go on and on about all my little things, but I'm not going to. I'm not even going to talk about it because that's what other people can do. I know there's a few more people on here that were there that can talk about those things, and that's what I'm using my time for. So if that's one thing I can get across, I'm totally going to encourage you to do that. And don't worry about the small stuff. Worry about the vision. Worry about where this company can take you. All right, that's it.
Thanks, Shannon. And I want to kind of piggyback on that for a moment, because we all love the device and know that it's going to change lives in and of itself. So not at all to minimize that we need to have a good device, obviously. But like she said, there's people that's what they do. And people aren't used to this technology being in the direct sales space. It's no different than your phone, all that kind of stuff. There's going to be things that we work out. And something else somebody said that really resonated is, we just had 200,000 devices hit people's wrists in the last month. Like as those things, and it's living in real life, they're going to learn more things about it and perfect it and grow and all that kind of stuff. So it will those of us that have got to like meet Fabio, been around for a while, like so confident in this company that like that stuff doesn't like, I'm never worried that we don't have a good device. I'm not for a second do I ever get concerned. As we have different things that come up, it's like they'll fix it. It'll just be at the next update. It'll be with they're tweaking it. It's all good. So yes, thank you, Shannon, for sharing that. The vision is definitely where it's at of this company because we don't even know. Like even Taylor Worre came on the stage for a little bit, and it's just like you can tell the stuff that they know they just want to tell us, but they can't talk about the things that are to come that are like in the next year or 2 years. Like this Hilo thing is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Okay, next.
This is Robin, the other Robin. How are you? So in my 20 years of pharmaceutical sales and medical device conferences, trainings, events, this topped them all. So I think if you take every single kind of thing that you've heard on this call and kind of bring it into one, so believing in yourself, having a vision of where you want to go, and following direction from those that are already successful, you will be successful. So I think it's just already knowing that you're going to be successful, believing that you've already been accomplished, you've already done all of these things. So having that clarity, focus, vision of yourself being deserving, everything that you could imagine, tying it in with energy and enthusiasm. The enthusiasm and energy was out of this world. It just wants you to be better, do better, work harder, run faster, and then follow the 5 questions and the 2-minute video, the 30-minute webinar. You're going to still get some no's, but guess what? That's just a distraction. That's not to stop you. You've got a vision, you have a purpose, you have a belief. You need to keep going. So those distractions are there for a reason. You just keep moving forward with what you believe and see yourself accomplishing. So that's what I got out of it, which was a lot. Pages and pages of.
Awesome. Thank you, Robin. Who's next?
Mommy, on my mom.
How about Christy or Jan?
I can go really quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. When my husband and I made the sacrifice to go to Clarity, we couldn't afford to go, and not both of us. We had to just choose one or the other. And I feel really bad that he didn't get to experience what we did. So like Leah said, Sam's not going to miss another one, and neither is Sean. So I'm super excited about that. But my own personal development and my belief and goals are on paper now. I believe that they can happen, and I know that they can happen, and I cannot wait to quit my full-time job, which is just, it's going to happen this year before 2018. And I never believed that before, and I've tried to just follow Leah's belief and her vision, and I've just held on to that since I started, but I really needed my own, and now I have my own, and now I can share that with my team, and I'm so excited about that piece, just sharing with it. We have new people coming on, and they're going to get this from me and my time, and me just be a leader for them. So I'm excited about that, and seeing that whole vision, you know, for my family. So mine was simple and short, but.
Thank you, Carla. And I've always told people, she just said exactly what I've always said, like, until you like have been to an event or whatever it is that clicks for you to where you're just like, this sounds all really good, but you don't, you know, there's something that we say, borrow our belief. Like I say now, I bleed the vision of this company. Like nothing could dent my vision of where this is going and my belief in it. And from the get-go, I think it was hearing Seville, like he poured into us. I don't know what it is, but I've had the belief from the beginning. So as people have come on board, I said, borrow our belief until you get it yourself. And I'm so thankful, Carla, that you were there. You don't even know. So thank you. Okay. Let's go next.
I will. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't even know where to start because it was basically every single thing from the very beginning, from when I got there till I left. It was confirmation after confirmation after confirmation that I am in the right place at the right time with the right people. Just every detail. It was amazing. I mean, just my roommate, for instance, or just, of course, the speaking, especially the first segment with Romasio. It's not anything that you could have came back and told me about. It would have been so ill compared to what it really was. So I'm so thankful I went. And it was a sacrifice for my family. I have 5 children, and my mom drove here to help my husband. You know, financially, everything. It was just a sacrifice. But it did give me the belief. I actually have a peace now that I haven't felt at all since I started in April. Like a piece of not being held back anymore, because everything, all of my fears or disbelief was met. Even that day we were eating, Leah, and I said, I'm still hanging on to a little, like, I just don't know. Like, I don't want to lead people in the wrong direction if I'm going the wrong direction, type of thing. Remember that, Leah? Which totally, again, God met me and debunked all of that, like in the next segment. And I mean, everything from, I love the analogy of being pregnant with a vision and giving birth to it, because that's exactly what happened. And I feel like it's been there all along, but I was just afraid to really let it go. I mean, the people, high quality, everything, the integrity, everything. I guess the other thing is, you know, device, you know, I'm not as worried about any of that. Like you said, Leah, I have peace of mind about that. The leadership, their heart, everything. And I started to let myself get really excited and creating a vision board of where I want to be and where our family is going to be. And so I don't need to borrow anyone's belief anymore. So that's huge for me. And then I still, though, there's a part of me that thought, well, you're not a high rank right now. Why would anybody want to, you know, join with you? But I was there, and I got to experience everything that everyone else got to experience. So you know what? My information is just as valuable. And so that's where I'm getting my, you know, my confidence from, is that I definitely have something to offer people. And I'm not going to be held back anymore. and there's just, like I said, for me, it's the peace that's washed over me since I've been there. So
awesome. Thank you, Christy. Okay, who else? Anybody else feeling called to share anything?
Hey, Leah, I just got on the call because I just flew in. This is Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, I am actually just pulled out of the airport. So is everybody just jumping in when they want to talk?
Yes, go
Okay.
ahead, ready.
You know, I'm not prepared at all, and I haven't heard what everybody said, but there's only just a couple takeaways that I had a billion takeaways, but the couple ones that I wanted to share that were super important to me are, I feel like I found myself. I believe that I doubted myself so much up until this point. Every time I would talk to somebody, I'm sure it came across on my face that I wasn't confident in what I was saying, and I was also talking too much. Romasio said at the very end, or someone said at the very end, they said, do not leave because there might be one little snippet that you'll get at the very end that's going to be your missing link. And the thing that is so funny is the thing that was the missing link for me was the very, very end. And it was when he was bringing in people he had them go out and grab just anybody and brought them in and put them up on the stage and did a quick little, he always talks about connecting with people, relationships. Build a relationship. It doesn't mean that you have to have a lifelong relationship, and I always felt like I had to have a relationship with people that were years old for me to be able to reach out and have a relationship. I guess I never really understood what that meant. But he brought these people in and put them up on the stage and said, ask them questions about themselves, got them talking about themselves, and he asked them questions. And it was like the relationship was built immediately right there because he got them talking about themselves. They trusted him through that. They were giggling and laughing through that, and it was an immediate connection. So these were people that he didn't even know, and he hadn't had any previous contact with at all. And that clicked with me because I thought, you know what, I can walk up to anybody. He taught me that I'm enough. My gifts, I have a gift to offer people. I have a gift, whatever my gift happens to be, and I'm a talker. So communication is one of my biggest gifts, and written and verbal. And I thought, you know what, I'm not afraid to talk to people. I was afraid that I was going to sound silly. And he helped me get out of my head. I have been in my head, and I've worried so much about what people thought about me that I did no service to this at all. And when I left the airport, when I left the hotel to get on my flight today, I said a prayer and I said, you know what, I am going to, please give me the vehicle to talk to people. I literally was a happier person. I talked to people just randomly. And I have 5, this is more than I've had since I started. I have 5 really, really good contacts that I got between the time that I left the hotel and the time that I got in this truck. And I got the last lady that I talked to on the plane. We had similar things. We have the same religion, which that doesn't mean anything. I mean, it doesn't have to mean anything. But we had similar, like, her name is Susie, and she said it's Suzanne. Well, I said, oh gosh, my daughter's name is Suzanne. We had things that connected us. She gave me a hug at the very end. Her son is a doctor, and she said, I want him to see this. So I immediately sent her the 2-minute video. I actually sent the 5-minute video, and I had a connection with her. We were friends. I've never met this woman before in my life, and I did 5 in a matter of 3 hours when I haven't done that in how many months. So the transition for me was huge. I know myself. I'm confident, more so than I've ever been in my life. I know that I don't have to overtalk this. The company has provided us with videos that do the talking for us. I just have to build a relationship. I have to be myself. I have to reach out and be happy with people and make people feel good about themselves and their relationship. Boom. They ask them what they do. They ask me what I do. And it started a conversation. I cannot tell you how excited I am to have 5 that I feel way better about than anything I've done since I've started in 2 months. So, you know, I have some really good people under me that really want this vision and really want to run with this. And I'm very thankful for that because they did see the vision. But most of the other people that I've talked to, I feel like I have tried to convince them. And I didn't have to convince anybody of this. It just happened. It just rolled off of my tongue. So that's what I feel like I can share. If you guys don't have Las Vegas, I really still feel like crying. If you guys do not have Las Vegas on your calendars, you have to get to Las Vegas. If you don't do anything with this company other than go to the next conference, this is the World Conference. If you don't get there, you don't care enough. I know right now I will not miss another conference. This thing was life-changing for me. I can't wait to sit down with Glenn and tell him what happened this weekend. But anyway, that's what I have, and it was the best experience of my entire life, you guys.
Oh, thank you, Julie. Goodness gracious. Anybody else want to share? And she's like fresh from the event. Like, that's just awesome. Just leaving. Awesome. Anybody else feeling? I want to cut it off. Suzanne, I keep looking at you. I think you should share.
I'll share. I was actually trying to send the call info to somebody for the 8:30 call. So I'm yeah, I'll be really quick. There's just one thing that, so Julie had to cry. So I'm a crier, so I'm gonna start crying, but.
Tears are good. Remember, we learned that.
Sorry. This right here, like talking in front of all of you guys, is one of my fears. Even though I've been in direct sales for, oh my gosh, like 4 years, and I had a successful business with my last company, like this is just a fear of mine. And I'm just getting through that, and I know I have to get through that to be successful. And that's just one thing I took away this weekend was, like, you just have to do it and don't overthink it and just be yourself and believe in yourself. And the one thing that really stood out to me was Romasio was standing on the stage, and he said, do you guys know what I'm doing right now? He said, my toes are scrunched up, like curled up, and I'm squeezing my butt cheeks together. And he's like, you know, when you're, you know, uncomfortable and you don't want to do something, you just still have to do it. And I'm literally standing here right now with my toes curled up and my butt cheeks like as tight as they can go. He even said you couldn't even put a penny in between. I mean, he just stood up there and he was like so raw and real with us. And it just made me think that, like, if he could stand up there in front of all those people and tell him that, like, this isn't that hard. And, you know, it's, there was one other thing I wrote down. I can't remember what it was, but just don't overthink it and just, like, literally use the 5 questions. And Robin, who talked earlier, she's on my team, and she just knocked it out of the park today, just leaving the airport. We left this morning and got home a few hours ago. And I mean, just, we got in our Uber car and it was just such an easy conversation, like just literally talking to somebody. And he asked us why we were there. And, you know, he just opened up to us and told us he's from Israel. And he was like, I don't know, long story short, basically he's from Israel and he has family in 3 countries and he speaks 3 different languages. And we were just like, you guys, it's just, use your cold market. It's so easy. just to talk to people and just, get to know them and have a conversation, and you just never know. Like, and he was so excited about it. So, and it just led on to multiple other people throughout the day in the airport and on the bus to the car. And so anyway, I guess it's just getting out of your comfort zone. So, and that's what I'm going to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome. Anybody else? Lots and lots of good shares. I'll make sure before I move on, nobody else. Okay. All right. Oh, go ahead. Can we talk?
Hi. Yeah, it's Jen.
Okay.
Hear me?
Okay.
Sorry, I just reversed my camera. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can echo everything that has already been said. It was amazing on so many levels. And I think I went in, I had a whole list of questions about the healer, specific questions, and it's funny, like those questions didn't matter. The clarity is power theme. I think what I realized is that I got clarity on so many things beyond just this business or beyond Hilo or beyond the weekend. It was about my life and, again, the spiritual side, and just, yes, copious notes, echoing what everyone said. We have notes, we had tears, we had, all these things in common now that have sort of bonded us together. I think it definitely, but I feel like I have clarity, not just about this, but just in life. Like, I feel like I've come out of this just a totally different person. And it sounds so, but I feel like it's true. And by the way, things that I feel like before, oh, that's coincidence, that's that. Now I'm like, that's like, or that's, it's like, this is meant to happen now. These people randomly now texting me about things or popping up in my life or asking questions. I'm like, this is meant to be. We're all like this other side of life, like the spiritual side that I think I was just not embracing for however many years. That's been sort of reawakened to me. And so I am so excited on so many levels, kind of personally, but not for anyone that's associated with us and this team. And I'm excited. So not to be redundant about, everything else that's been said. There was no, and by the way, tonight I made my kids listen to the Justin Timberlake song in the car. They were like, this is the longest song. Can we turn it off? I was like, no, every day we're listening to the song. It was just hard to explain if you weren't there. That was such a important part of the weekend, like just this reminder. And remind you to get up and dance and enjoy life and live but move forward. Success. So
very cool.
All right.
Thank you, Jen. Yeah, we ended up dancing to that song probably 25 times. Like, the room just like danced, and I don't think I saw. There's plenty of people that don't typically dance or are that's outside their comfort zone, and everybody's just moving, like just letting go. Like, it was just so powerful. All right. Last call. Anybody else? All right. Well, you feel free to interrupt me if anybody's just trying to get off mute or anything. Just a few things that I had kind of in my notes highlighted. Something Romasio does that everybody just thought was hilarious is when he's walking through an airport, he'll have his phone up to his face, like he's talking to somebody. Nobody will be there, and he'll be sharing the vision. He'll be just like, yeah, the industry itself, it's going $20 billion, and we have the first device of its kind. And he's just like sharing it like that. And he says a prayer to himself before, like, let somebody that needs to hear this, like, have them cross my path. So then he gets approached then, like somebody's like, I couldn't help but hear what you're talking about. And he's talking to nobody. He's just sharing it for the person that needs to hear it, that he has no idea needs to hear it. So I'm like, that's genius. Totally awesome. I wouldn't have been I was on my phone for real the whole time. Otherwise I'm like, I'm so doing that next time. Mike Sims shared something. I guess it wasn't, one of his themes of his, as he was going through was, you must get rid of your butt. Like, start to shave off your butt. I would be a team builder by now, but I would be a diamond, but I would be able to pour more into this, but all that kind of stuff. You got to get your butts are your own butts, and they're not going to help you get anywhere. So you got to start shaving off your butt. I thought that was pretty good. Make sure every day you're doing at least 2 new exposures. Like, if you do that every single day, we'll show 2 people this or share it with them, at least attempt to share it with them. There's no way you're not going to enroll people. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so that's all the kind of random nuggets here. I do have a launch call, so I have about 10 minutes to wrap this up, which I'm not going to get through everything I want to do, but that's okay. Let me share my screen. So I'm going to do the network marketing piece of it here. Okay, so it was Steve Carter, and he did this a little bit on the Saturday overview a couple weeks ago, or excuse me, the Monday, the President's Call, but it was just kind of done a little bit more. Let's play this here. And I think it really just, having some of this information really helps. Like, if you're confident, like if somebody asks you, like, is this network marketing? Are you like, yeah? Or are you like, yeah? Like, you need to have the confidence in this industry itself, not just this company, and that's going to set you apart, or that's going to come through when you're talking to people. The way you respond to that when people ask if it's network marketing, and having a good understanding of this information here. If you don't have that belief and confidence in the industry, having this information, like, look at it, hear it. I know Romasio's done a talk on it. Like, dig into this, the rise of the entrepreneur, that kind of stuff, so you have full belief on the industry itself. So this information, they talked about just where our society's at in general. Like, the average earners, like, household is $50,000 per year, and that's kind of considered middle class. Someone's writing on the screen. And then, so the top 25%, 90,000, top 10%, 140,000, top 1%, 380,000. But so think of yourself, so for those that are in the middle class, like, how many are living just paycheck to paycheck? And then those people that are in the top 10% making 6 figures, are they really comfortable? Or typically people have just spent up to their means. So, most people aren't like, it's month to month kind of thing. But or people that are comfortable, and then you can, and this is for too when you're having conversations with people. So one thing they said was, yeah, but how many people have you helped be as comfortable as you are? Or maybe you're comfortable, you're financially comfortable, but you work 70 hours a week and have no time for your kids and can't do any of the things that you want to do in life because you're working so much. Or you're comfortable, but wouldn't it be nice if you could support all these causes that are important to you? That kind of stuff. I'm doing this here. So in network marketing itself, it uses a large group of independent distributors to move a product or service. And the industry itself, that's why Fabio picked this industry to stick within to get this device out, because he wants to improve quality of life for people. So the best and fastest way to get that out there is through network marketing, because we know nothing moves faster than through word of mouth. And you can use how much we've done in 10 months to speak to that. If you need to feel like you need to validate why they chose network marketing. And it's just more efficient, since like Best Buy and all these big corporations, they spent half their budget on multi-million dollars on marketing. That cuts it out. They don't do that. They pour it into people instead of marketing budget, because we're out doing marketing through word of mouth. And as far as the industry itself, so people like, it's MLM, it's a bad thing. Like it's only like weirdos do that and whatnot. Thinking about all these other industries out there, how much revenue they've done. In 2013 was these stats. So NFL, $9.5 billion, video gaming, $76 billion, the movie industry, $88 billion, network marketing, $178 billion. So obviously there's a lot of people doing this. It can't be all bad. And then, so of that, 40% was paid out in commissions. So $72 billion in earnings, or $6 billion per month that people are making through network marketing, or $200 million per day people are making in this industry. So they say, oh yeah, only the people at the top make money, when you get that kind of thing. So there's over 100 million people worldwide in network marketing, 20 million in the US, and this is expected to just continue to increase, double in the next decade. Oh, there you go. There you go. 90% are part-time working, 5 to 15 hours per week, and there's more growth expected. And you know, I do all this stuff. I'm just like, so anybody that gives me that rebuttal now, I'm just like going to be like, well, you're going to be one of the few then if you don't get in this industry. More growth expected in the next 10 years than in the last 50 years. So as far as what people have earned, 4.3 million people earn less than $1,000 per year. 8.2 million earned $1,000 to $50,000 per year, and 2.4 million people earned over $50,000 a year from network marketing. And when you think of this here was like probably my biggest takeaway. So 2.4 million people made over $50,000 per year, and that beats the national average salary for men at $45,000 and women at $37,000. That's the average salary. And then the median annual salary for all is $48,000. And knowing what this industry is doing. So yeah, again, just when you get ignorance to the industry, and it doesn't, we don't have to come from a place of judgment. A lot of times people they've been told something, they just don't know. Maybe a lot of times people maybe have a story where a part of something that didn't go well, or there was bad companies in the past, but that's all now we're heavily monitored by the FTC and the DSA and all that kind of stuff. So the best way to address this when you're talking to somebody and that this comes up in the conversation is using the feel, felt, found. So, and because a lot of people, especially if this is your first time in the industry, maybe you did have some of those feelings yourself. So just saying like, I know how you feel. I felt the same way too, actually, before I got involved with this company, or before I really understood the industry and did some research, like I felt the same way. Can I share with you what I've found? Like it'll just completely disarm people if you say it that way. It's like, oh, because nobody's gonna be like, no, it just kind of, that feel, felt, found is kind of something that's been used a lot, and you can structure your response that way. They're going to be a little bit more open to hearing what you have to say, and then just share what you've learned about the industry. And then you can just show them this too. if MLM is so bad, how have we gone to number 4 in all of the wearable tech already? And they're saying that we are going to be number 2 by the end of this year, which is absolutely insane. Right. And this information we know, this is on the slides that we do. So 123 million pieces were sold last year, and we're going to sell 411 by 2020. So there will be $20 billion of new revenue generated over the next 2.5 years. Like this is our window of opportunity, you guys. Like the time is now. Okay. All right. And I don't want to rush this next piece. I'm trying to think if I want to even start it. I will go through it, and then we will I have all this information. So there is a folder in our Dropbox. If you don't know what the Dropbox is, there's a link to it in the pinned post of our Facebook group. There's our Dropbox, and in there I have all sorts of resources, but there's a folder now called Clarity. So I'll have this presentation. I have all the documents we got out of Clarity are saved in there. Let's see something chatting. Hang on. Okay, just making sure I wasn't missing anything. Okay. So just appreciating what we have. So when people say like, oh, I've gone through my contacts, or I don't know who else to reach out to, you need to keep in mind that the people are like dust. They are everywhere. There's 350 million people in the US and 7.5 billion people worldwide. And since we are nearly global, that there's people everywhere. So just getting out on social media, getting out networking, like Robin was sharing Suzanne, in their an Uber drive, like the car on the ride to the airport, sitting next to people on the airplane. Like, it's just being comfortable enough to have conversations with people. And they nailed it on the head. Like, your warm market is your practice. Like, that's the first people you share it with. You go through your warm market. You probably get some team members, but it's really when you get out into the cold market, that cold market is when you really meet people and meet other people's friends and that kind of thing. That really can be a huge, huge game changer. So thinking about how many contacts you should make per day, or peaking interest, they called it. So if you're like a very part-time, making sure, so at a minimum, 2 new contacts every day. Okay, if you're like, everybody's got their own pace and life and whatever. Everybody's got their own story. There's no judgment on how much you're working your business. It's just work it to the goals you want to have. Okay, moderately building 5 new contacts per day. Aggressive building 10 per day. Right on that room, they went around like, who's doing 2 per day, and nobody raised their hand. Everybody's seizing the day. So, and it's work ethic, not talent here. So don't, like, not having had experience in this or being successful in another company, like a couple people shared, like, who cares? Your past has gotten where you are today, and every piece of that journey needed to happen. Like, so we take something away from every piece of our journey. That gal that got pulled up on stage, and she was talking about getting her MBA, and she was like, oh, and she was just crying about it. And Ramasio was just like, no, that's part of your story. Like, it's all good. But you have to treat this, if you're like sharing big dreams, and I want to take this thing to the top. Like, you can't have a $10 work ethic and have $1 million results. Like, we've been working our tail off. And you get out of it definitely what you put into it. So it's just about, and it's not rocket science what we're doing here. It's just putting time into it every day. So the 2-5-30 system, and again, these documents are just individually in the back. So I know, so there's a new 2 and 5 minute video coming out. Sam and I have been stuck really to the 5 minute, or some people stick just to the 2 minute. With the new ones, I like the 5 minute a lot, because it shares the vision also, not just the product, but basically getting someone to see one of those 2 before getting them to go to the webinar, and just doing the follow-up. And so if you want to recruit 2 people, you need to have 40 exposures to this. Okay, and it's all about making sure you're properly preparing the prospect. So you should get 2 with every 40 if you're properly preparing them, asking the questions, setting the vision before they see it, and then doing a very good follow-up. Timely follow-up is so important. And then just take them through here. And I'll let you guys, you can go pull this and you can read through it and save it and whatnot. So again, the exposure rate is 20-to-1 ratio. So to get Team Builder, you will make $270. And if you want to recruit 2 people, and this is per week, per day then, and just, it goes all the way down to double president here, but for the purposes that most people on this call, 1, 2, and maybe 3 are what matter. I don't want you to get overwhelmed by looking too far down into it. But basically they're saying the run rate, to achieve this, how many exposures? And as you get to like this and this one, that's within your organization. So a group run rate of 6, getting 6 applications in per day. If you're at the level where you're going for Diamond, that's 120 video exposures within your organization. Okay. And then the exact numbers. So going team developer will get you $600 in that week. So helping 2 people get 2 people. Okay, so some people, if you're visual, this kind of helps to kind of see that drawn out there. I'm trying to think of who shared this one. I think Travis Flaherty, who did the last Monday's presidential update. Signs that you aren't, if you're getting objections such as, yeah, I just don't have time to do this, or yeah, I just don't have the money, they haven't seen the vision. You're not building enough value into what you're sharing. So getting that, if they're getting them to that video, hopefully will help kind of relay that. Or if you have low conversion, like people getting to see the video. So we got to like fine tune sharing the vision, and the 5 questions really do that. It helps set the stage, definitely. And I've created a document here. So all that stuff, the last slides, I created a summary document that I'll show you guys here that can, for some that are more visual and want to plug it in and have kind of a roadmap. So, and I think this is Thomas, or that was Clarity also, money loss, saying too much during the invitation process. And I think a lot of people had that aha, kind of, they've just been saying too much information. Not following up timely, not using the system as it's taught, and our people going before us have done. Not having the belief, which I know we had a lot of epiphanies over that this weekend. Being committed to it, you know, kind of setting those, the minimum number of reach outs you're going to do every single day. And then personal development. Everybody has their journey here. You know, some of us have had a couple years of experience in another company. Some of us haven't. Some of us have been maybe in a sales job. Some of us haven't. Some, you know, pouring into yourself and making sure that every day you're also spending some time on personal development. You know, whether it's 30 minutes here and there, or, you know, some sort of getting to events, that kind of stuff. All the calls and all the stuff available. It's like ridiculous how much stuff is available to us. All right. So then the last thing is just what we're going to kind of tweak this a little bit. Come on. So, yeah, not writing. So just for getting the team builder, what that looks like, and helping you identify the people that get in here, what that will bring you in. Then the next step of team developer and working towards your first 10. And then what you will earn off of that. Okay. And here some different verbiage. And I just laced the 5 questions into this and gave examples of depending on who you're talking to. Because sometimes it's acquaintances, sometimes, and we'll post this in the group so you guys can have this. And it's also in the Dropbox. Sometimes you're talking to people in the industry already, that kind of stuff, and just give lots of examples on verbiage and whatnot here. And then I think it was Steve Carter, maybe, he talked about the bases, running people through the bases. So first base is getting them to see the 2 or 5 minute video. Follow up, what'd you like? What excites you? Yeah, me too. Then getting them on the business overview. And then if they have questions, either getting them enrolled at that point, or if they have questions, jumping on a 3-way call with your client, okay, and getting questions answered. And it's just keeping people running the bases. As long as you have people on bases all the time, when you get to your work hours during the day, okay, who do I need to get from second to third base? You know, putting in your calendar and making sure you're doing those follow-ups. And then close it, bringing it home. I think that was a good visual analogy, and I just put that on the bottom there. All right. So that's what we have for you guys today. I hope this was helpful. Kind of hearing some of our takeaways, like a few said, it's hard to, obviously you can see a lot of emotion and how moving this event was, and there's no way you can put it into words and help like to relay that, other than it was really stinking cool. And hopefully you guys got some of that kind of by what we shared here today. And Vegas, like they said, the International Convention, it's the 20th and 21st. And there'll probably be an extra day of training on the front end. So detail, we should hear about that on the Wednesday corporate update and have that the registration link and everything. So with that, I wanted to open up to questions, but I got to get ready for lunch call. So get with your upline that you know was there if you have questions, and we'd be happy to definitely help you out there. So thank you guys all for jumping on tonight, and I will post a recording to this in the group. Okay, awesome. Thanks guys. Have a great night.